Hey there, this is Jamie from Stonemaier Games. I am the designer and the publisher of Expeditions, a game that we're bringing to you from Stonemaier Games. I have this game set up on my table here. You can't see it yet, but in a second, I'm going to tilt my desktop camera down, my webcam down, so you can see what's on the table here. It's a partially set up game, and I'm going to take a few turns to show you how the game works. Just a few sample turns here. There we go. Let's tilt that down and show you a little bit about Expeditions. So I have a second player set up on the table. I'm not really going to do much with that player. I'm going to focus on my turns here. I have the metal mechs set up on the table. These are the ones that come with the Ironclad edition of the game. So at the beginning of your turn, you have this mech mat here. You're going to focus on this area in the upper right of the mech mat, and you have to move your action token. So I'm going to move my action token over here, exposing the two actions, play and gather. So I need to take a play and a gather action in either order. So I'm not moving anywhere. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to be on this location taking these actions. And I can do these in either order, but I'll show you them in this order. I'm going to play first. So I'm going to play this card. This is my hand over here, my hand area. This is my active row. And this is my card in hand right now. And it has a few different things on the card. It has a core value up here, and it has an ability down here if I place a worker on it. Now, as you can see, I don't have a yellow worker available. There is a yellow worker over here, but I've already placed it on a card, so I don't have any yellow workers available, so I can't use the ability, but I do get the core value. And so this says, by default, I get 1 power, so I get to move up power on my little mech mat here. And this icon over here says, if I have melded at least 1 meteorite, the core value actually adds another power to it. So this is one of the leveling up elements of the game. And I have melded a meteorite to my mech down here. And so I get an extra power from playing this card. When I play the card, it goes on the far right of my active row right over there. And that's my play action. That's my entire play action. Now I also have to gather. And so I have 2 different gather benefits on this particular location. I can either gain an adjacent card, and all face-up cards in Expeditions are in between the locations. There would be more cards right here, and right here, but for this partially set up board where I don't have the northern locations out here, I just have 2 of the cards on the table right now. So this icon means I can gain an adjacent card. This is an adjacent card right here to this location, or I can meld a meteorite. I'm not going to do the meld part yet. Instead, I want to show you what taking a card looks like. So I'm going to pick up this card, and when you gain a card, it goes in your active row. I'll move that aside a little bit so I can fit that over here in my active row. I have a lot of cards in my active row right now. And that's my turn. I've gathered, I moved, and right away, whenever you gain a card in Expeditions, you replace it with a card from the top of the deck. And that's the end of my turn. So the other players would take their turns. Let's come back to my turn. I'm going to take a few other sample turns to give you an example of the things that you're doing in Expeditions. So again, at the beginning of my turn, I must move my action token. I have no cards to actually play, but that's okay in this instance because I can move my token to cover up the play action, leaving move and gather exposed. And so let's start out with gathering, because I want to gather. I want to meld a meteorite this turn. So to meld a meteorite, I'll take a meteorite from my active row or my hand, and I will meld it. And what melding means is you actually take this card and you turn it sideways. You can see this here, this meld ability, and I will insert it under my mech down here. So first thing I do is I insert it down below the mech. Gonna lift it off my table a little bit here. There's that one. There's that one. So I'll insert them under the mech mat. And then I will gain each melded benefit. And so these are kind of scoring benefits. And so the card that I just inserted says gain $1 per 3 value corruption with a max of $3. I've already collected 2 3 value corruption tokens, so I get $2. And the money in this game is the same as the victory points. I'm trying to get the most money as you go on this expedition. The other ability, or the other meld benefit, says gain $1 per quest you control. So I have 2 quest cards. These are both quest cards. I control 2 quest cards, and so thanks to that meld benefit, I get $2. I'll give myself a little bit of change here. So again, whenever you meld, you activate each meld benefit when you do this. So every time you meld, you're going to get a little bit more because you'll be triggering all previous meld benefits as well as the card that you have newly melded. So that's the gather benefit. I'm now going to move to a new location. So I'm going to move over here to this location. Let me pick this up. The first thing you do is you gain this map token. You gain a map token. That's one of the ways that you can score victory points in the game. And then I will flip over this tile. My mech stays on that tile. And all of the central and the northern locations in Expeditions are corrupted due to this meteor that has crashed in the land and spread these kind of these meteorites all over the land and awakened ancient evil. And so whenever you reveal a new location, I have to seed it with corruption tokens from this bag. So I'll reach into this bag, I'll grab a corruption token, and I'll put it right there. I'm covering up this action, this benefit right there. This says 4. This little number right here says 5+. So I have to keep drawing until I have 5 or more total value of corruption on this location. So I actually drew another 4 as well. Put that there. There are orange tokens, orange corruption tokens over here. You can see one right there. So I have seeded this location with corruption. I've gained the map token. I've moved here, and that ends my turn. I have a couple more turns I'm going to show you. 2 more turns. So I'm in a little bit of a predicament now. Say it's my new turn right now. I must move this token. But if I move it on top of move or on top of gather, it exposes the play action, and I don't have any cards to play. So I can't do that. I must take all actions on my turn. So I need to take a refresh turn. So I'm going to move my action token right over here to refresh. And when you refresh, you return all workers to your mech mat, and you return all cards to your hand. So I'll put all these cards back in my hand, letting me play them again using the play benefit. And that's my turn. Refresh turns are very quick. Sometimes there are special refresh benefits that you can get, but here's the really cool thing about taking a refresh turn. On my next turn, I have to move my action token here, and instead of only taking 2 actions, all 3 of my actions are exposed right now: move, play, and gather. And so now that it's my new turn, following a refresh turn, I get to take all those actions in any order. And I'm glad I'm doing that because I want to show you a few different things that I haven't shown you yet. One is I am going to first play. So I'm going to play this card right here. This is Jiro. So I'm playing the Akiko and Jiro character. Every player in the game has a pairing of a companion and a character, and they go together. Akiko and Jiro always go together. They're designed to play together. And so I am going to choose to play. I'm going to play Jiro right over here. And one of Jiro's benefits, if I put a worker on it, is to vanquish. I guess first, just so we don't forget, I'm going to gain the core value. The core value here is 1 guile. And these are similar to the meld upgrades or level ups that I showed you earlier. This says if I have 1 or 2 glory, these are the ways that you're moving the game forward and also gaining a bunch of points at the end of the game. If I had either of these, I would also gain more core values. But let's say I don't have any glory yet in the game. I just have this basic core value. I've gained 1 guile. Jiro also gives me an option down here if I put a blue worker on it. And I do have a blue worker. So I'm going to put a blue worker on Jiro. And I'll read it to you here. It says, I can either activate the previous card's ability, and there is no previous card here. That's referring to my active row. There's no other card in this row. And so instead, it says vanquish. And it also has some more text about that. It says vanquish. If this vanquish removes the location's final corruption, you may gain the revealed benefit. Now in this case, I'm not going to be able to remove all the corruption from this location, but I can remove a little bit. On a vanquish benefit, a vanquish ability here, what I will do is on my location, I will look at the top corruption token, which has 4. I will spend 4 guile because guile matches. This is a guile corruption. It requires guile to remove it. I'll spend 4 guile and I will simply remove this token. And you're doing that for a few reasons. One, you're removing that so that you can eventually expose this benefit at the bottom of that location and make this location better. But also, every corruption you remove from the board during the game is worth 2 coins, 2 points at the end of the game. So it's good to remove corruption in the game. That's one of the primary things that you're spending power and guile on during the game. So I've completed that vanquish part of my turn. I haven't moved and I haven't gathered. So let's go ahead and gather. I'll gather a purple worker. I'll gather one of the corrupted, the possessed workers from this land. I'm going to gather a purple worker, put it right here. And finally, I get to move again. I could move over here. I could move anywhere I want. But let's maybe set up my next turn. I'll move over here and set up a next turn to potentially either gather some guile or maybe vanquish this token. Or maybe do a little bit of both, depending on the cards that I have in hand. Yeah, there's a lot more to show you in Expeditions. There are other ways that you could upgrade your mech by taking item cards. You can take item cards and insert them under your mech here by taking the upgrade ability. You can insert them like that. And that way, instead of needing to place a worker on those cards, I just always have this benefit from then on. And item cards also give you coins at the end of the game. So that's what item cards do. And if you're familiar with the idea of popularity inside, that's tied to the quest cards. So here's a quest card right here. In fact, this coincides where my mech is right now. So this is a quest that says Scout the Abandoned Base. So if I have this quest in my hand or my active row, and I move to the research base and take a solve action, which solve actions are found on your characters and elsewhere, but primarily on your characters. If I take a solve action, this quest corresponds to location 13 in the central area of the board. So this is location 13. It's in the central area. And it means that if I go there on my turn and I solve this quest, all I have to do is pay 2 guile, and I gain some benefits here. I gain a power, and I gain an adjacent gather benefit. And when I do this, I actually get to insert this card at the top of my mech right there, revealing a heart. So I have 1 heart there. And at the end of the game, depending on how many quests you've solved, how many hearts you have at the top of your mat here, that gives you, that helps you score. That helps your scoring multiplier at the end of the game based on the glory that you've placed on the base camp mat. All right. So yeah, that is, those are some basic elements of Expeditions, show you how a few turns work. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Again, this isn't the entire game that I've showed you here, but it is a few elements of the game. And yeah, I'm excited to share with you more. I know this is a very rudimentary gameplay video, but I wanted to give you a little taste of what it looks like. This copy that I'm playing with now is an early pre-production copy. We've just barely started production right now. We're still making a few little tweaks to the rules and a few of the components, but we're entering production at this point. And so in a few months, we'll have official review copies and official content creators who are creating playthroughs and reviews and things like that for you. So you can pre-order the game now. It is available for pre-order now, or if you'd like, you can wait until later until you have that additional content to make your decision to back or pre-order or not pre-order Expeditions. So again, I'm Jamie from Stonemaier Games. Thanks for joining me today, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Thanks.